Okay, so we're ready to start our second round of split complementaries. We have reviewed our complementary color pairs, our basic sets of those, and we started and completed our split complementaries using our primary colors as our guide. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the second round of split complementaries using our secondary colors as our guide. So we're going to go ahead and flip this, and I'm going to move this over, and you can see that I've already set up my boxes. So they're going to be divided into 3 chunks again. They don't have to be equal. I've labeled the top split complementary part 2, and I've gone ahead and labeled the centers with our secondary colors. So O for orange, V for violet, and G for green. Okay, so what we'll do now is you're going to take a minute to set your boxes up, and then you're going to come back and we're going to move on to the next step in this process. Okay, so now we're ready. We've activated our watercolor paints. You should have a brush, some clean water, and a paper towel available to you. And we're going to go ahead and start by just painting in our secondary colors, just like we started the last one, by painting in our primary colors. So we're painting our secondary color, orange in, and I'm doing that right in the center, because that's going to guide how we determine our split complementaries. I'm going to rinse my brush, and I'm going to move on to my violet. I'm going to rinse my brush again, and I'm going to move on to my last one, which is the green. And then once the green's painted in, we're going to let this dry for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video and set a timer for 15 minutes, and we're going to come back and set up the rest of our split complementaries. Okay, so my paint's dried, and now I'm ready to move on with my split complementaries. So I have orange first. I'm going to locate orange on my color wheel. Here it is. We already know that the complementary color for orange is blue because they are directly across from each other on the color wheel. So as we know, with a split complementary, we're not going to go with the direct complementary. We're going to hop to either side, which means that our split complementary for orange would be our blue violet and blue green. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up my blue violet, and I'm going to start with the blue and add violet, just a small amount. Blue is the less powerful color in that combination, so you're going to use more blue and you'll add the violet slowly. So once you're ready and you've mixed up your color, you're going to go ahead and paint that on. And if it's looking a little too violet, which I feel like mine is, I'm going to add more blue to that. That's better. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Sharpie now carefully and label this BV for blue violet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush out, and I'm going to mix up my blue green. I'm going to start with my green and then slowly add in my blue. And then I'm going to label that carefully, BG for blue-green. I'm going to rinse out my brush, and we're going to do our split complementary for violet. So again, I locate violet. I know that the complementary color is yellow, but this is a split. So we go to either side, which means our split complementary for violet is yellow green and yellow orange. So we're going to go ahead and mix yellow orange. Start with your yellow and then add your orange in slowly. Label that YO for yellow orange. Rinse your brush and mix up your yellow green. I feel like mine's a little bit too watery, so I'm going to add a little bit more paint and a little bit less water to my palette. I'm going to rinse my brush, label this YG for yellow green. Okay, so now we're going to find our split complementary for green. Our direct complementary would be red, but this is a split, so it's going to be red violet and red orange. So we're going to go ahead and mix those colors up. So this is my red orange. I'm gonna mix a little bit more orange into that. So you should always make adjustments as you see fit. That looks better to me. Maybe a touch more red. I'm gonna rinse our paintbrush out. Label this RO for red orange. Our last one is going to be red violet, so I'm going to go ahead and label it now. And then, as we've done with every single other project, these charts are going to be used to help us create a piece of art that demonstrates our understanding of color harmonies and split complementaries. So everything we do has a purpose. Okay, so as these colors dry, what you're going to begin thinking about is which of the colors, the color harmonies using split complementaries appeal most to you. Which do you like the best? Because we're going to be using these to create a piece of artwork. So we'll be coming back in another video to begin a project using these split complementaries, and you're going to need your chart in order to be successful on those.